Hello, nice to meet you all. Perfect. I like this speech. The previous speech was with Artem from Obrio, and he was trying to give a very good message that culture and environment, when we are speaking about AI adoption, is much more important about tools. So I will also mention about this in my speech. I will speak today about the software quality. So thank you for deciding to spend next 20 minutes listening about quality. It's important today. It was always important, but it's important today when we have a boom of AI and more engineers using AI for after completions, more non-technical people using AI tools for vibe coding, and that results for some like technical debt. That results on some issues with technical quality. And I will speak today about some technical aspects we used, and I will show you. I will mention about some complex things like rack architecture and other things, and I'll show example how we built a platform and how this platform helped us to manage the quality across almost 50 products we have. When I was preparing the slides last week, if somebody following the Open Router, they released the annual report based on the 100 trillion tokens that clients spent, and there was a half of the tokens are spendings by engineers. So that's another proof that we should speak about quality. Yeah, my name is Rodomansky. I'm one of the co-founders of company Ralabs. I'm building and managing this company for the last 10 years. Right now we have around 42 products in our portfolio, and we are building the human-centric company. I am, first of all, engineer who knows a little bit about entrepreneurship, not vice versa. I have a big passion with AI, with NA10 specifically, consulted a couple of companies how to properly use AI and help company to save the money or generate more revenue using AI. But I'll start from the context, why the software quality was important for us, why we worried about software quality. So last of couple of years, we see some of the couple of trends. I will speak about them. So the first trend that relates to AI, we see that let's say maybe about the half of new products, they are created using AI. Or even more vibe-coded. New clients, they came with vibe-coded MVPs or prototypes, which is causing like technical debt thanks to AI. And we as engineering team, we should deal with this not always the best software, right? The next trend that was I personally found when I was finishing my second master degree last year. So my diploma project was about the quality specifically, and I found that most of the company they tend to rely on the people, but less on the systems. And it works, but not always. And the service companies, the product companies, they tend to build some systems. They tend to care about product quality much more than service company. So, and the third trend, that's like the economy related to us. So for us, the quality, it's like differentiator across different companies. When startups or clients, they select a company, they like last years, these clients, they are mostly looking for expertise and expertise things. And for us, we're trying to show that we know what we do. We have them quality instruments, so it helps us to manage quality, which leads to more reliability on the product, which gives us more trust from the clients, and it gives us more revenue on the company and less client retention. So for us, like quality, that's also like differentiator for our company. Next, so before we started thinking about building some platform, we decided to think about software quality much wider than just the code quality, and we take three main pillars. So the first pillar that was like project health. It answers for the questions like, do we have a good architecture? Do we have like secure and scalable like architecture? Do we following some typical management things like risk management, budget management, whatever things on the project? Another pillar that was about teams and people, like does our engineers, they have a like clear path for growing? They have some PDPs, challenges, and other things. Do we have like knowledge sharing things? Is it effective? Do we properly onboard people so they do not spend too much time and they have a good this learning curve? And the third, maybe most important part, that was asking clients what they think. That's client's voice, asking about their business priorities to adjust to what we propose to them. So that's become a fundamental for a future platform we built internally. The name was SQM, which stands for Software Quality. And before I will jump to SQM, I want to give you like two typical examples. I think most of you probably see some of them on your projects. So, and why I'm showing these two examples, because on each of those two examples, there is one thing. If you do not forget to do this, it will help to avoid the problems which we caused. So the first, that was like we have a like massive fintech platform, and we have a multi-tenancy architecture. There is some key points about this product, but one of the tenants, they start updating a massive data sets of couple gigabytes with SQL, with heavy SQL script. And the result was the database was locked, so the entire platform was down for all of the customers. And the reason why it happened, because we have a big technical debt on the architecture. Architecture was not prepared for this scale. And we just completely forget about this when we were building this platform. We did, of course, a lot of things to improve the situation, but the lessons here, the code itself was correct, but the architecture was not prepared for the scale. And we forget about this big impact on this problem. Another one, that's React Native application release. So the application worked perfectly on the developer's machine, but when we released this to Apple Store, and we also had a lot of like manual tests, automated tests, but when we released to Apple Store, the application immediately crashed for the production users. So that was a big problem, because that's the first release of the application. We, again, did a lot of things, but after release to fix this. But again, like the processes was like good enough on this project, but we just forgot one thing, that's UAT, or involving the beta users, right? That's quite typical best practice you should use before releasing some first application to production. So we forgot a couple things. And why I mentioned about these two things, that on the first case, you should remember that your architecture should be scalable enough. And or on another case, on another example, if you do not miss the UAT or pre-production test, you should be good and avoid these problems. But in our case, like we have our portfolio of the project is large, and every project is unique. We have a different teams, different sizes, different technologies, and it's easy to miss some of the practices, even if that's something simple like UAT testing. So when you are a product company with one major product, it's quite easy to manage the culture, the software quality across of this. You have many best practices. You can hire one CTO. You can keep the same technical stack across the whole subproducts. You can build some culture. You can follow some best practices. But in our case, we don't have one product. We have many products. So with different teams, different seniorities, different technical stacks, different sizes. So we need something else. So this is like kind of our technical zoo we operate. So we have everything from the simple React application to complex like Python, Rack, and other more complex things. And the challenge was how to build a framework that will be flexible enough to manage all of this. And and since every project is unique, on the company level, we need something more flexible. This scale where we operated, and when you manage more than one product, you cannot micromanage the quality. You need some system. So to manage quality across this map, we decided to build the framework. And this slide just to tell you that we know about existed frameworks, about some existed maturity models, but and we use some of them on some of the specific projects, but they were not enough flexible for the home company. Like some of them were way more bureaucracy, do not provide the, like real practice. Some of them was like linear B. They require larger teams that we don't have. So so we need something else rather than that. And we haven't found anything that worked perfectly for us. So we jumped to building our own maturity model. So the first version of the platform, that was a manual platform. That's kind of was a fundamental to build something next. So it creates from the 11 specific groups, sections. Every section has a lot of questions. And we run these questions as a survey for the teams. And every few months, teams, they should fill the survey. So that's how it worked. And as a result, we got some project score, which represents how many practices every project is following. And we have a specific score, let's say on the database, what the score from the 10 on the 10 scale, how we are good with the database concepts on the projects. But and the goal here was to not measure the engineering specific productivity, individuals' productivity, but more manage the as much more best practices team is following on the products. And so we had something like that. So that was the first version of the platform. It was. We wrapped into quite simple like platform. We have a beautiful radar charts which showing you the specific score across specific category. And but there was a problem, like human was involved everywhere. Humans need to fill the survey. Human needs to analyze. People need to detect some red flags across the issues. And the playbooks there you can see is huge. So the generic playbook is more than 500 best practices we are trying to follow. So it was quite not easy to manage, and surveys are quite boring for people. So this platform, it helped us to show the data in a more nicer way than we did sometimes before in the Google Sheets, but it didn't. It still had the big problem that people were focused much on the filling the data rather getting insights, rather than interpret this data. So before showing you how we rebuild this platform, I want to tell that we decided to build the proper environment on the company. That's what Artem from Obrio was telling also about that. So we decided we worked together with the team to create some positive experience for the people building some agents. So we started building and adopting agents everywhere, from the HR to sales to legal department. We built some agents which help us onboard people, which helps us to analyze some contracts from the clients. And the goal here was to not build some good agents, but the goal here was to build as much more agents. Not perfect, but the focus is on the quantity, and to create for people the good experience with creating the agents. So we also create a couple other platforms inside with AI, which has AI driven. Some of them we're using RAG, some of them just wrappers around OpenAI. For some of them we use some low code like n8m. For some it was a custom development. Somewhere we have something like talk with your data, so you can ask some questions like from the Confluence, from Jira, whatever. This is example of another agent which we built a couple weeks ago. One of the guy, I think you should know about him, that's Andrew Karpathy. He released the article about LLM console approach, where multiple models, they analyze your request and then they debate to find the best possible answer. So that's what we are trying to use on this legal agent, which received some contract from the client. analyze if this contract is following all of the legal aspects we want to have on this contract, and give us some answer if the contract is good to sign or not. So. Yeah, so that's another example. Sorry for the small text here. That's simplified workflow. Simplified workflow, which help us to onboard people more faster. So it works like project-specific mentor. When project manager creating, when new people is joining the project manager is creating a channel where the engineer can ask some questions about the project, and then project manager can receive some analytics like how many questions were asked or some questions missed on the documentation, and etc. So speaking about the software development lifecycle, we also built some of the agents. Some of them are built by us. Some of them, like for example, the code reviews, we use some of the existed solutions. But that was a mix of the ready solutions and the custom development. That was also a part of creating the positive experience for all of the people inside the company. On the next slides, I will show you a couple of these agents I highlighted here. So the manual platform we built, SQM, the goal was we decided to make from the manual platform more agentic platform. And we think what AI benefits we can add to this platform. And we added some AI benefits like RAG, suggestions, and etc. things. For example, we can automatically calculate the metrics. We can suggest teams the answers from let's say, from the Confluence, from Jira, so they do not fill this manually answers and other things. So teams, they connect the platform with some of the data sources like Confluence, Jira, and this platform taking data from there and trying to like suggest the answers before. We also added ability to introduce like conversational AI, the interface like you have in the chat GPT, where you can ask about your like previous quality, some metrics about the product itself, and etc. And also we got some side effects that like non-technical people, they can work with platform and other things. So that's how this new platform looks. This is just a new interface. So it's created for us a big shift from the like manual auditing to more automated quality. We have some connections which people can connect there. If you will have questions how specifically we build these connections, happy to answer on the Q&A side. We have playbooks, which are best practices. So we have a set of the playbooks. We have, that's for example, one of the full playbook with specific question. We have a chart still, but other things. So next, I will show you a couple specifics workflows, how the SQM is working under the hood, which concepts AI we are using there. So the first workflow, I will show you how the platform suggests the answers. We use here the RAG architecture, the RAG concept. So every team, they can connect this platform with some of the sources like Confluence, Jira, and we just create embeddings, right? And when the survey, SQM survey is starting, we got some question from the playbook, and then we looking in the vector store database, the answer. If we found the answer, then we suggest to human that, hey, we found the answer, please accept or adjust or decline this. It also helps, a side effect, it helps us to highlight which of the things are missed on the documentation. So when the agent cannot find the answer on the sources, on the Confluence, etc., it will highlight that this information is not present there, so might be considered to edit it. So the next is like survey agent. It's more about smart routing for the questions. So before we send this whole playbook to all of the teams, and they need to fill. And AI help us to send only relevant questions to people. So front-end team, they can focus on the front-end topics. The back-end team, they can focus more on the back-end aspects. And more than that, that's also suggest the answers to the teams. So So we also tried here approach when AI is reviewing after the human. So I think all of you know about the approach human in the loop, right? But one of the another possible approach might be AI in the loop when because AI can consume all of the data and AI can validate the answers given by humans. So we also tried this here and highlighting some of the mistakes. Another one that was insights. So that's search agents on this SQM cycle. So previously, we manually analyzed the answers. Now AI helps us to analyze the answer and suggest with the findings. It can suggest us where should we pay our attention, maybe which findings are more critical than others. Also, it can automatically suggest, let's say, to the project manager how much approximately the efforts might be to fix this finding. That's not related to SQM, but that's another platform we built, which allows you to calculate automatically some of the metrics. So you can ask from your project something like, "Hey, tell me the percentage of code which is generated by AI we have on the master branch." And there is some logic we built. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to explain all of these aspects, but we don't use here like the MCP because we want to have more control during this execution, and we do not use RAG here because we don't need like the search, the smart search. We need like more deterministic algorithm here. So we build something like mix MCP and RAG. For the code quality, we moved with a simple approach. So we use just the code rabbit. They have a couple modes how to work with. And there is one of the modes which is following reinforcement learning. So as much more you're using CodeRabbit, as much smarter it becomes. So usually first months the team was disappointed, but then we got some good results. And the final slides is about takeaways. So our general belief that you cannot control what you're not measuring. So that's why we are so focused about some metrics. And couple findings we have from this process. So first of all, we see a new paradigm when AI can validate the human. We call this AI in the loop instead of human in the loop, because AI can consume much more information about the human, and in some cases it might less hallucinate than human. Another one is we see that small people, they work much better with AI. Small teams, they work in much better with AI. When I'm talking about small teams, I mean isolated projects from scratch. And AI, we see that it's good on the short-term projects, but struggles when you have a like complex or large project. We also see the interesting trend with the seniors. Like senior plus AI, that's a multiplier, but not because of the expertise that seniors has. But we see that senior people, they are just more open to try something new, and especially AI. So, and since they are more open, they're getting more experience with AI, so they're finding how to use this tool for themselves. That's all. I think we all are learning about AI. How to, especially on the operations and the business, how to use AI and how to get the positive outcomes. And I hope you get some insights. So, thank you.